In this video, we're going to practice dividing a decimal by a decimal, and the only rule we need to follow is that we need to move the decimal in the divisor to make it a whole number. Now, you're asking yourself which one is the divisor. So the divisor is on the right side of the division symbol. Now, the divisor needs to be a whole number. This first problem over here, 8 is a whole number. So we can simply go ahead and we put the dividend inside, and the divisor is the number we are dividing with. We will put it outside. Now, 8 into 3. 8 cannot go into 3. Now, 8 into 37. 8 into 37 goes 4 times. Now, if you multiply 8 times 4, you get 32. Now you subtract. 7 minus 2 will give you 5. And now 3 minus 3 gives you 0. Now simply go ahead and bring down the 0. Now 8 into 50 goes 6 times. 8 times 6 is 48. Now subtract. 50 minus 48 gives you 2. Now the decimal point. Take your decimal point up and bring down the 4. 8 into 24 goes 3 times exact. And now 8 times 3 gives you 24, and 24 minus 24 gives you 0. Okay, so what's the answer? Our final answer is 46.3. Perfect. Let's move on to problem number 2. Now, let's look at the dividend. Is it a whole number? No, it's not. So you need to convert it to a whole number. You need to move the decimal place towards the right one place. Now it becomes 23. Now it's a whole number. Now, whatever you do to the dividend, you need to do to the divisor. So if you moved only one place towards the right, well, you only move one place towards the right. In this case, this number now becomes 107.64. And having that, we can go ahead and we can divide 23 and 107.64. Let's go ahead and let's start with 23 into 1. It cannot divide. 23 into 10. It cannot go into 10. Now, 23 into 107. Yes, it can. It goes 4 times. So, 4 times 23, or 23 times 4, will give you 92. You simply subtract now. 107 minus 92 should give you 15. Now, your decimal point, take your decimal point up. Now, bring down the number 6, because 23 cannot go into 15, so you have to bring down the number 6. Now 23 into 156 goes 6 times. 23 times 6 will be 138. Now subtract 156 minus 138, and you will have a remainder of 18. Or you can simply do this. Borrow 1 from 5, that's 4. Now 16 minus 8 is 8. 4 minus 3 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Now bring down the 4. Now you have 184, because 23 couldn't go into 18. So now 23 into 184 goes 8 times exact. So 23 times 8 will give you 184, and you subtract these two numbers and you will have 0. So your final answer for this one is 4.68. Very good. Let's move on to problem number 3. Problem number 3 is a little more challenging because we're dealing with a negative here. But that's not a problem, because you just have to follow the rule. We need to convert this into a whole number. So we move 2 places towards the right. So now we will have 32. Now let's look at our divisor. Let's move 2 places towards the right because that's the place, that's what we did with the dividend. So let's move 2 places towards the right. 1, 2. So we will have 526.4. Now remember, this is a negative number, but instead of putting the negative here, no need to put it here. Just put it up here because that's what your final answer will be. A positive and a negative will give you, when dividing a positive and a negative, it will give you a negative. So just put it negative up here for the final answer. Now, 32 into 5 cannot go, but 32 into 52, yes, it can. 32 into 52, it will go only one time, and that will be 32. Let's subtract. This will be 0, and 5 minus 3 will be 2. Now 32 into 20, it can't, so we bring down the 6. Now 32 into 206 will go 6 times. If you multiply 32 times 6, you should get a total of 192. Now let's subtract 6 minus 2, that will be 4. Let's borrow 1 from here, and now it's 10 minus 9 will be 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So you have a remainder of 14. Decimal point comes next, but you have to take the decimal point up and bring down the 4 because 32 cannot go into 14. So now you have 144. How many times does 32 goes into 134? That's only 4 times. 32 times 4 will give you 128. Now you subtract 144 minus 128, you should have a remainder of 16. Now 32 into 16, it can't. So what you need to simply do is add another 0 here and just bring it down, and you will have 160. Now 32 can go into 160 5 times exact with no remainder. So 32 times 5 will give you a total of 160, and 160 minus 160 gives you 0. So our final answer for this problem is negative 16.45. There you have it. All right, I've got 3 quick favors to ask you. First, if you found this helpful, give the video a like. Second, feel free to drop a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And third, consider subscribing to the channel. I truly appreciate any of those favors. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.